everyone. Very good morning. Uh, I saw all of your photos and you all are well-being. Very good to see you. So today I'll discuss about the stroke care practice during COVID-19 pandemic. So, and also I would like to tell about the introductions and burdens of stroke and the management of the stroke with the high dose citicoline. Uh, Acute stroke management pathway during this pandemic. So the acute stroke patient come to the hospital less than 3.5 hours onset of stroke. And so we normally most of the stroke enter the emergency departments and triage, and then we examine if the patient has a COVID positive or COVID negative. Uh, if the COVID positive patients, we do the telecommunications with the stroke on-call team and do the CT brain, CT chest, ECG blood test, and all the parameters for the risk stroke factors, and also PT, INR, and T-dimer. If the CT brain and is not a hemorrhage, so we're not given RTPA. Only we give the antiplatelets and send to the designated hospitals. In our country, there is a 2 or 3 designated hospitals to treat the COVID-19 patients. And also we do the risk factors management and the rehabilitation. There is some dilemma and some um, problem in the suspected patient. If the patient has suspected, we do the screening test. The screening test and also CT brain, CT chest, ECG, and etc. And also CT brain show there is no hemorrhage. So if the patient is individual, depend on the individual. If patient is eligible for the RTPA, we can give the intravenous RTPA at a dedicated area of the COVID patients. And stroke on-call team must be less team members and full PPE. But because normally in our country we have to wait at least 1 or 2 days for the test results. If the test results is negative positive, we still do the COVID isolation ward and the treat there. If the patient has a not negative, we do send to the orange area. If the patient is not a COVID suspected patient, we do the stroke, send the stroke acute pathway, and also it's not eligible for RTPA, so we give the antiplatelets and isolation wards admissions and risk factor managements and rehabilitations. And also anticoagulation treatments. COVID-19 patients with a high T-dimer, non-AF ischemic stroke can be given if no contraindications. Anticoagulant treatment should not be routine for the treatments of acute stroke. For most of the patients with a stroke or the TIA in settings of the atrial fibrillation, it is reasonable to initiate the anticoagulation within 14 days after onset of the neurological symptoms. Also finish it. So the stroke is the leading cause of the third leading cause of the death and physical impairments and disability. And the stroke patients in the YGH in Yangon General Hospital, and from January to December 2019, total 5,042 ischemic and 2,054 hemorrhagic stroke patients admitted to our hospitals. Total more than 8,000. Risk factors, everybody know about the risk factors of the strokes and the irreversible and the modifiable risk factors. So we can more focus on the modifiable risk factors: hypertension, heart disease, heart failure, atrial fibrillation, endocarditis, diabetes, hyperlipidemia, smoking, excessive alcohol consumption, polycythemia, and oral contraceptive. Okay. This is for the embolic stroke from the heart and to the major vessels of the brain. Yeah. So salt mechanisms, everybody knows that this is ischemia to the brain and deprivations of the glucose and oxygens and the failure depletions of the ATP productions and decreased glutamic uptake and increase the glutamic concentrations and acidotoxicities and also failure of ionic bond and the depolarizations and opening of the voltage gated dependent channels, activations of intracellular signaling symptoms, and apoptosis. And also release of the excessive glutamate and excessive calcium sodium influx and activations of the anions and the free radical productions, and it causes an inflammatory process. Management of the stroke. The 2 million neurons die every minute in the ischemic stroke if no effective therapy is given. Within 10 minutes, these figures and these diagram shows within 10 minutes there is a focus of the ischemia within 1 hour and more than and 2 times, and within 3 hours 3 times, and 6 hours more than 6 hours totally 50% 100% of the ischemic penumbra can cause the brain death. So this is a pathway in our country. And for the emergency patient less than the is the patients with the stroke first symptoms less than 3.5 hour onsets. So we do the ED assessment and Roche scores and activations of the fast track and the CT head. If the CT is a normal or hyperacute changes, is eligible for thrombolysis, we do the thrombolysis, and if not eligible, we give the aspirins at administration to the stroke unit. So more than 3.5 hour onset, CT head within 12 hours and laboratory test. If CT head has an infarct, onset is less than 48 hours, we give the aspirins and admission to the acute stroke unit. Onset is more than 48 hours, aspirins and the administration to the general medical wards. And also general supportive and secondary stroke prevention. If the patient has a hemorrhage, admission to hospitals and consultations with their neurosurgeons. This is a treatment options of ischemic strokes and thrombolysis, antiplatelet risk factors modifications, and the neuroprotection. Now we are now focus about the acetylcholine. I intravenous. There is also acetylcholine. I dose protein. So neuroprotection is a mechanism and that strategy used to protect against the neuronal injury or degenerations of the central nervous system following the acute stroke. So brain plasticity in the ischemic stroke is a neuroprotection, and 7 days it started from the after onset of the stroke. So we need the neuroprotections as a neuro repair mechanisms. Uh, from the started from the stroke and up to the 7 days, up to 1 month, up to the 2 years. And we need to in 7 days to within 7 days to 1 month. That is, we need the neuroprotection, and the neuro repair is up to the 2 years. Therefore, we need to give the neurotransmitter modulation, neurogenesis, angiogenesis, gliogenesis, and synaptogenesis. So this is a targets for the neuroprotections in the stroke. No? Uh, because of the glutamic release and the glutamic receptors activation, as so excitotoxicities in the cells, and it's caused the inflammations and on the more on the ischemic penumbra and the core and the calcium influx and oxidative stress, and so we need the neuromodulations and neurodegenerations. This apoptosis, okay, then influx. So Acetylcholine is a naturally occurring endogenous compound and originally identified by the Kennedy in 1956. Precursors of the phosphatidylcholine, vital components of the neuronal membrane, is reduce the dysfunctions of the blood-brain barrier and decrease the cerebral edema, activates the cerebral energy metabolism. Acetylcholine provides the cytidine and choline. Choline is essential for synthesis and acetylcholine, the cholinergic neurotransmitters, which damage cell membranes and impair metabolism of the phospholipids have been implicated in the pathophysiology of cerebral ischemia. It appears that an important component of the acetylcholine neuroprotective capacity is its ability to improve phosphatidylcholine synthesis in injured brain. Therapeutic effect of acetylcholine is stabilize the cell membrane by increasing phosphatidylcholine and by inhibiting release of the free fatty acid. Inhibiting glutamic release decrease glutamic level and the stroke size. And also inhibiting the apoptosis decrease the free radical formations and facilitate recovery by enhancing synaptic outgrowth and increased neuroplasticity. So, after stroke, after ischemia of the brain, deprivations of the glucose and oxygenate, and the decreased glutamate. So, because of the depletions of the ATP productions and decreased glutamic uptake and glutamic concentration, and decrease the exotoxicities and reduce the inflammatory process and to remove the free radical productions. It is the acetylcholine effect of acetylcholine in cell death mechanisms in all those areas. Uh, prospective randomized placebo-controlled double-blind clinical trial in oracetylcholine in acute ischemic stroke. Um, so it's a an ISS score less than 8 or equal to 8 and MRS scores less than 1 or equal to 1 is using various doses of oral acetylcholine 500 milligram, 1000 milligram and 2000 milligram. Once 1,065 patient randomized control trial patients on 1,300 fulfilled inclusion criteria. 583 received the placebo and 789 received the acetylcholine. Recovery at 3 months was 2.5%, 25% of acetylcholine treated patients and 28% is placebo treated patients. The dose showing the largest difference with the placebo was 2,000 milligram with 27.9% patients achieving recovery. The overall safety of acetylcholine is similar to placebo. So conclusion is a treatment with oral acetylcholine within first 24 hours after onset in patients with moderate severe stroke increases the probability of the complete recovery at 3 months. So acetylcholine 2000 milligram 2000 milligram is the p value is 0.0043. The efficacy and safety of oral acetylcholine in the acute stroke patients. As a drug surveillance study is more than 4,000 cases, oral acetylcholine 500 to 4,000 milligram per day. Within less than 24 hours after acute ischemic stroke and more than 3,000 patients in early group, 455 patients were later than 24 hours after acute stroke of the late group. NIHSS Bardot Index and MRS were improved after 6 weeks of the therapy. No difference between early and late group. So improvement was more significant in higher dose group. The significant dose, the dose is more than 2,000 milligram per day. And this diagram shows there is a high dose group show the significantly more improvement in NIHSS and Bardot index than in the median and low dose group at weeks. And these effects were more attenuated with acetylcholine starting within 24 hours of onset of the acute stroke. Higher dose per day show the greater benefit. International acetylcholine trial on the acute stroke (ACTEST) is an international multi-center prospective double-blind randomized placebo-controlled trial. Patients were randomized in 1:1 ratio in acetylcholine or placebo. Acetylcholine was dosed as 2000 milligram per day during 6 weeks. In the first 3 days, it was given intravenously and orally from the 4th day on for 6 weeks, and two tablets 500 milligram per 12 hourly. Acetylcholine has no significant effect or risk of the hemorrhage from the RTP and has a comparable safety and the tolerability profile compared to the placebo. Global recovery at 90 days was similar to two groups. Acetylcholine is safe but not provide efficacy evidence for the treatment in moderate to severe acute ischemic stroke. A study evaluating the efficacy of acetylcholine in the acute ischemic stroke. Study. Current systematic review and meta-analysis support some benefit of acetylcholine in the treatments of the acute ischemic stroke. It is confirmed that the effect of acetylcholine has been diluted over time in parallel with improvement in the standard of care. Consequently, on top of the best treatment available, RTPA and acetylcholine offers limited benefits. Controversy exists regarding the clinical effectiveness of acetylcholine. Some randomized placebo or head-to-head controlled clinical trials and meta-analysis suggest limited or no clinical benefits, and while other randomized placebo controlled trials report beneficial effects. Furthermore, Davalos 2002 and Sanchez 2016 and She 2016 have several methodological limitations such a lack of reporting summary finding tables, use of the odd ratios instead of risk ratio, and use of cumulative meta-analysis instead of trial sequential analysis. It is necessary to assess the effectiveness of the drug independently. AHA-ASA guideline, 2018 guideline for management of acute stroke is at present no pharmacological or no non-pharmacological treatment with putative and non-protective actions have demonstrated efficacy in improving outcomes after ischemic stroke. This is level of evidence A and class 3. Conclusion: acetylcholine is a neuroprotective drug that is a number of the different clinical stroke trials continuously have been showing some benefit. In acute ischemic stroke, some previous studies show neutral results because they were done in high standard university hospital where RTPA rate is high. It was difficult to demonstrate additional benefit because the effect of acetylcholine could have diluted on top of the RTPA. So this is a ceiling effect. However, in subgroup analysis of patients not treated with RTPA, acetylcholine had demonstrated beneficial effect compared with placebo. In addition, this benefit was seen in higher dose and started within 24 hours. So, thank you, everyone. Love to pray.